Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. This is our men's advanced Bible study on 31st of August, 2021. What I'm gonna be doing is I'll be dealing with who is Jeremiah prophesying to? Is he talking to our fathers or is he talking to us? That's what we're gonna deal with later on in class. So I'm asking everybody to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification button. This is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Shalom and welcome to everyone. We're going to do our little moment of silence in our prayer and our song. Then we're going to current event. Oh Lord, we thank you for your great mercy and your great power and wisdom. And we tarry waiting for your powerful deliverance of your people, Israel. Oh Lord, you have given us insight to the scriptures of our forefathers. You, oh Lord, have directed us to who you are and your role in the goings on of heaven and earth. And we come doubtless that you will appear and that you will gather your nation from among these wicked Gentiles. Oh Lord, you spoke through your prophet Isaiah and said that you would help Abraham see this you have done. You have completed that promise as of this day. And you said, oh Lord, that you will remove the darkness from around us. Tarry not, O Lord, for the latter days are here, and we are waiting and watching for you, O Lord. Peace be unto you. Okay. Get the Psalms out of here. Psalm 26, it says, examine me, O Lord, and prove me. It's a Psalm of David. Judge me, O Lord, for I have walked in my integrity. I have trusted also in the Lord, therefore shall I not slide. Examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Try my reins and my heart, for thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with disassemblers. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and I will not sit with the wicked. I will wash my hands in innocency. So will I compass thine altar, O Lord, that I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell all thy wondrous works. Lord, I have loved the habitation of thy house and the place where thy honor dwelleth. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men, in whose hands is mischief, and their right hand is full of bribes. But as for me, I will walk in my integrity. Redeem me and be merciful unto me. My foot standeth in an even place. In the congregation will I bless the Lord. It's Psalm 26. It's examine me, O Lord, and prove me. Okay. Anybody have any current events?
No.
Okay. Everybody good? I got a few right here we can talk about them. First one is this. I don't know if anybody heard about it, but we got it's 2 of them. I'm doing 2 pertaining to the same thing. This first one is they got 87. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Say 87 retired generals who endorsed a false conspiracy theory about the 2020 election called for Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and General Mark Milley to resign over Afghanistan withdrawal. So they got 87 generals want the brother to resign. It says a group of 87 retired generals on Monday called for Lloyd Austin's and Mark Milley's resignation. They said Austin and Milley should have persuaded Biden not to make a swift exit from Afghanistan. The same group had written a letter in May advancing 2020 election conspiracy theory. Any comments?
Advance the 2020 election.
Yeah, they believe that they believe that the election was stolen. These same 87 generals. They want the brother to resign and Mark Malley to resign.
Right.
They're saying because of it, they misstep. It was Afghanistan. You did something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Him resigning and looking to impeach the president. Huh?
Right. Yeah, they're asking for Biden to step down too. It's a group
Yeah.
of them asking. Yeah.
I think they calling to if he doesn't, they looking to impeach or for some.
Okay.
No.
Right. Yeah. So this is the same thing right here. It's just this came out earlier. Then this one came behind it. It's got a little twist on it. It says nearly 90 retired generals and admirals called on Lord Austin Mark Malley to resign. Nearly 90 retired generals and admirals have called for Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Joint Chief Chairman General Mark Malley to resign after overseeing a debacle that was President Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. So, okay. This right here is dealing with the hurricane. Uh, Let it play because, like I said, it's all scripted.
The slow-moving Hurricane Ida has left hundreds of thousands of New Orleans residents without power due to catastrophic transmission damage. According to Entergy New Orleans, all of New Orleans is currently dark. It could take weeks for power services to be resumed. The ravaging storm took down all 8 transmission lines of the area, according to spokesman Brandon Scardilli in an emailed statement. As a result, that created a massive load imbalance that knocked all power generation in the region offline, Scardilli said. Entergy announced that it's working to assess a path forward to restore power to those who can take it, apparently meaning those who had and lost electricity for other reasons during the storm, but those repairs won't likely be completed anytime soon due to the huge power demand and the unprecedented damage faced by power lines. At this point, the only power in the city is coming from generators, Homeland Security said. In a repeat of the scene seen in the 2008 Hurricane Gustav, when 13 of the 14 Entergy's transmission lines into the city failed, leaving hundreds of thousands of homes in the dark, the disaster provoked by Hurricane Ida has left more than 614,000 Entergy customers in Louisiana without power as of Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And by 7:26 p.m., almost 750,000 homes and businesses were without power across the state, reported PowerOutage.us. That's the company that tracks utility outages. Now, the blackouts were mainly concentrated in the southeastern corner of the state where Ida made its devastating U.S. landfall. Entergy revealed in a statement that it was forced to shut down its 1,152 megawatt Waterford nuclear plant, about 25 miles west of New Orleans, and it will have to keep it offline until local grid damages are assessed later this week. The company warned yesterday on Twitter customers in the hardest hit areas should plan for the possibility of experiencing extended power outages. Yesterday, Hurricane Ida made landfall twice. First around noon at Port Fourchon, and then at 2 p.m. near Galliano, where it turned into a Category 4 hurricane with sustained winds of 150 miles per hour. Even though the storm weakened slightly from that point on, moving ashore with winds of 120 miles per hour, it developed a double eyeball, increasing the threat of severe flooding. As explained by Dr. Levi Cowan, PhD in meteorology and senior scientist at the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. Development of a double eye wall means that the core wind field of Ida is broader. Not a great development to see just before landfall. The storm has also begun to slow down, which was expected, but begins to reveal just how big a flooding threat Ida is, he tweeted. The National Hurricane Center reported that the eye of the storm was about 25 miles southwest of New Orleans and 55 miles southeast of Baton Rouge, started moving northwest last night. So far, the areas hardest hit by power outages were Jefferson and New Orleans parishes, where roughly 372,000 Entergy customers suddenly lost power before 7 p.m. due to the brutal winds that have been wreaking havoc in the area since Sunday morning. As Hurricane Ida moves inland, power outages are increasing, highlighted spokesman Clint Robichaud 1 hour earlier. Once the storm passes and it's safe for crews to assess the damage and make repairs, estimated restoration times will be provided, he said, trying to calm down thousands of distressed residents. Meanwhile, Entergy urged people not to go anywhere near the ravaged areas as hidden threats could put people's lives at risk. Entergy said, "Do not walk in standing water. Do not venture into areas of debris since energized and dangerous power lines may not be visible." Even before the raging hurricane hit the U.S. on Sunday, a CoreLogic report estimated that it could damage or destroy close to 1 million homes along the United States Gulf Coast and calls upwards of $220 billion in overall damage across the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. The property and data analytics firm warned that the dangerous storm surge could hit 941,392 properties and completely batter many of them. While residents of the New Orleans metropolitan area have started to evacuate and seek shelter, fleeing for their lives before the city was swamped by the hurricane, the levee gates closed in many areas. Hospital wards in the region were cleared out, and oil refineries and offshore production had to be shut down, according to Bloomberg.
Okay. Any comments? Anybody else heard anything?
Nah, this is I watched this earlier, but I can't see them recovering from this 220 billion. This is gonna take it.
Right. Yeah. This it's something going on with that because they keep coming out. They keep coming every time they get situated, like it's gonna get situated. They come in and do it bad again.
Yeah, I heard about there was tornadoes and everything down there going on.
Right.
And it's to the exact date that Katrina hit 16 years ago.
Right.
The exact date. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, do you think it's hard, or you think it's the Lord of hosts?
Well, I think there's all the hope behind it, but he gave them the ability to use it, and the ability they just fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, that's the way I think, because they scientists, like you always say, and they using science to bring destruction.
Right. Thinking that they trying to go, they heading in a certain direction, but not realizing they just fulfilling prophecy like the Most High said.
Right.
Right. And then another thing about that too, I was talking to somebody earlier. It's a lot of stuff happened dealing with the transatlantic slave trade and dealing with the west coast of Africa that happened in that area in the Gulf.
Right.
They ain't telling us about it because, like I was saying, first of all, they want us to think that, they want us to think that those women and the people that they're bringing over here had the big old earrings in their nose, big wide nose, and they was look like apes and all that. But what? That wasn't the case. They was traveling from all over the country. Every time one of those ships came in, they had special ships of those Israelite women coming into New Orleans. And they would travel from all over the United States, come to that harbor to get them with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're not telling all that. And then, and like I was saying before, people not understanding too that the Most High keep on saying, he talk about Israel's seed, but he also talk about David's seed.
Right.
David got a seed, see, and that's what I believe tied to that.
And David plays such a important role of us getting up out of here.
Right. Exactly.
Man, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. And all that's left when you get the proper information and get the right foundation, all that's left is for us to be delivered. You know, when you check that New Testament out of there and all that garbage in there, only thing left is for us to be delivered. That's what you see starting to happen.
That's it.
Right. Yeah, let me answer this question. Couple of questions right here, brother got. He says, could the breach in Israel that took place in Genesis 38:29 have been taken from the story of Jacob and Esau? You taught that the red in Esau's calling card, and I noticed the scarlet thread. Yeah, so the thing about that is that Jacob and Esau had to do with. I mean, I got a video on the Prophets of Awakening about twins, how twins were born at the crossroad. At every point in our history, from back when Adam and Eve was in the garden all the way up till now, at the crossroad, when the Most High getting ready to do something with Adam's descendants, twins was born. So what you have to look at in there, we're gonna go there to the Genesis 38:29. Genesis 38:29. Okay. So when you look at that, okay, it's Judah. And then so you have to understand that Judah is what David came out of. So just like I was saying, you got to consider the Most High got a covenant with David and with David's seed. So if you don't understand that, you can get caught up in, like I said, get ran over by a Mack truck, because you can't be fumbling around. Not only can you be fumbling around with Israelites, but you can't be fumbling around with David's seed either. And so this right here is Judah. So this David coming out of Judah. This is a tribe out of the 12 tribes. So right here, knowing who Judah is, this is at a crossroad for Judah. Twins born. So let's read it. So we know what happened with the first three boys. He married a Canaanite woman. Let me read it. It says, and it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren, turned into a certain Dulamite, whose name was Hera, and Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and went into her. So we already see she's a Canaanite. So it's a problem right there. Red flag supposed to go off. So 3, and she conceived and bore a son and called his name And she conceived again and bore a son and called his name Onan. And she again conceived and bore a son and called his name Sheila. And he was at Chezib when she bore him and bore him, right? And Judah took a wife of his firstborn, who was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked, right, in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. So he killed those first three boys, right? Then we know that Judah turned around and she played the harlot and stood by the side of the road, and Judah came and went into her, right? And we know that Judah's wife had died. So Judah went into her, and so 27, we get to verse 27, and it says, it came to pass after he had went into her in the time of her travail, that behold, twins were in her womb, just like Rebecca. And it came to pass when she travailed, that one put out his hand, and the midwife took hold upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Perez. And afterwards came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zara. So what we're looking at is, like I was telling you before, when the birthright, the firstborn, the one receive everything. So every time these twins born, they fight trying to get out first. You know, Cain came out first. We dealing with Cain and Abel, and then we know Esau came out first, dealing with Esau and Jacob. What we see right here, this boy right here, he couldn't get out. Evidently, Perez head was already lined up to come out, so he stuck his hand out of there. Now these little boys now, so he stuck his hand out to say and broke the womb. He stuck his hand out to be the firstborn, so the midwife tied a red ribbon around his hand. The whole reason he's doing that to be the firstborn. But so let's look at that. So we're gonna go to and see what happens. Go to so we see the boy Zara came out first. So go to First Chronicles, chapter 2. Chapter 2, I'm start reading. So they're gonna give you the breakdown of the seeds of these 12 tribes. He said, These are the sons of Israel: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Then he said, the descendants of Judah, verse 3. The sons of Judah, Onan, Shelah, them three wicked boys that he killed, which were three born unto the daughter of Shu, the Canaanite. And the firstborn was evil in the sight of the Lord, and they slew him. Now here we go, verse 4. Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bore him Perez and Zara. All the sons of Judah were 5. And the sons of Perez, Haran and Hamu. And the sons of Zara, Zimri, Ethan, Heman, Kakal, Dora, 5 of them in all. And the sons of Carmiah, Achar, the trouble of Israel. So everybody know who that is. Achar. You know who that is, right? Anybody know who that is? Achar. Anybody ever heard that name?
Nah, tell us.
That's the guy. That's the guy that stole the stuff and had it in the tent. When he told them they had their curse thing. You remember when he told them when they went to AI, they couldn't defeat AI.
Right.
And when you kill them, don't take none of the spoils. And this dude right here took some of the spoils and had them in his tent. And they kept going up against AI to fight against them and could never prevail. And then the Lord told them, you got somebody in your camp that got stuff for heating their tent. That they took spoils. Oh, this guy right here. You can Google him whenever you get off the line, but yeah. So, because I mean, this stuff come up. That's why you want to remember that. So he says, see that? Who transgressed in the thing accursed. There it is. So 8, and the sons of Ethan, Azariah, and the sons of also of Haran that were born unto him, and him, Jemariel, Ram, I can't say these names, but the 10. Ram begot Aminadab, and Aminadab begot Nation, and prince of the children of Judah, and Nation begot Selma, and Selma begot Boaz, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse. See that? So we see the lineage that came through Perez is the one that out of the twins, and it's the one that had the red ribbon on was the firstborn, but it came through the other one, just like with Abel, and just like with Jacob. The second, the one that came out last, the younger one, is what the Most High followed, the lineage. Let's go back over here like quickly, then I'm gonna move on. So I'm back in Genesis. So they came through Perez. So I'm back in Genesis chapter 28, 38. And it says 26. And Judah said unto his brethren, no, that ain't it. 38. Okay. 38, 27. And it came to pass in the time of her travail that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed that one put out his hand. And the midwife took hold and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. And it came to pass as he drew back his hand that behold, his brother came out. This is the one with the blessing, Perez. And she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Right? So we talk about Zorah. The breach be on him. So that ain't good. So how hast thou broken forth? The breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Perez. And afterwards came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand. His name was Zorah. But the lineage that came, David came through, Obed and Jesse came through, was Perez. He didn't have the red band on his hand. Okay. Anybody got any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm looking, but I'm still trying to see how it's Perez over in First Chronicles 2 and 5. It look that's how the way I'm seeing it is that is zero.
Okay, let's look at it. You're in First Chronicles chapter 2, right?
2 and at 4.
Well, if you go up to 4, it says Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bore him Perez and Zara,
Right.
and all the sons of Judah were 5, right? So then he says, and the sons of Perez, see that Perez, Haran, right? You see that name?
Yeah.
Now go down to 9, and the sons also of Haran that were born to him. Then he follow that lineage all the way down to Jesse and Boaz. You see it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so you got another question right here. Says King George IV suddenly died on his bed in 1952. Could Britain be the great head? And King George, king who died upon his bed in Second Ezra 12:55. Well, okay. This is a lot of people don't know too much about that. But the thing about that, what I did, because I dealt with it a long time, we know he said that the 3 heads. Is anybody familiar with this? Second Ezra, the eagle.
Nah, go in on this.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm in Second Ezra 12. Let me get it right quick. I think I read this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that about David coming out of the sea.
Well, it's tied to it, but it's if you go to Second Ezra chapter 12 and starting at verse 11.
Okay.
What you got? What do it say?
It says the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea,
Right.
is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Right.
But it was no, go ahead, sorry.
Right. So what happened was Daniel had a vision in the book of Daniel of the 4th beast. But right here, he showed to Ezra, but he showed to Ezra in another, with a greater understanding to it. It says, this is the meaning of the vision that you have seen. As for the eagle that you saw rising up out of the sea, it is the 4th kingdom that appeared in the vision to your brother Daniel. But it was not explained to him as I now explain it to you. or have explained it. Behold, the days are coming when the kingdom will arise on the earth, and it will be more terrible than all the kingdoms that were before it. Moreover, 12 kings will reign over it. See, this is what I was telling you about. They telling us that the 10 kings, he's saying 12 right here, but they said 10 in Daniel, but they saying it's going to be 10 kings all at once that's going to side with the Antichrist. But that's not what he's saying right here. He says, moreover, 12 kings will reign over it, one after the other one. See that? So it's the same beast, but it's transforming itself, like I was saying, one after another one. But the second king will reign over it. Second king will reign over it. I mean, who is to reign, will rule longer than the 12. This is the meaning of the 12 key wings that you saw. And as for your hearing a voice that spake, it came from his head, but it came not from his heads, but from the middle of his body. This is the meaning. In the midst of the time, the kingdom of the kingdom, no small struggle will arise, and it will be in danger of falling, but it will not fall then, but will gain its former power. That's when Constantine came. I told you the giants came in and they went all the way to Rome and sacked Rome, and they stayed there, strong arming the people in Rome for about a year or two. I think the guy name was Ellery, and then finally they paid them off and they left. But the Roman Empire had fell apart into 4 different parts. Constantine came right here, like he said, it looked like it was gonna fall, but Constantine came on the scene, destroyed the other 3 kings, and brought the Roman Empire back, but he brought it back as a Holy Roman Empire. That's when he concocted the Council of Nicaea and JC. Mm-hmm. So that's right. That's what they're saying right here. So it's not a man that they waiting on that's gonna get shot in the head but he's gonna live. The beast is a system, and the beast received the wound in the head when they sacked Rome. But it still lived. So it says, in the midst of time, the kingdom has no small struggles will arise, and it will be in danger of falling, but it will not fall then, but it will gain its former power. And as for your seeing 8 additional wings springing from his wings, this is the meaning. For 8 kings will rise in it, whose reign will be for short, and whose years will be fleeing, and 2 of them will fall when the middle of the time draws near, but 4 will be reserved for the time when the eagle's end begin to approach. But 2 will be kept until the end. And as for you seeing the 3 heads resting, this is the meaning. In the last days, here we go. In the last days, the Most High will rise up 3 kings, and they will renew many things in it, and will stress the earth and those who live in it with a greater oppression than all who were before it. That is why they are called the eagle's heads, for it is they that will bring the wickedness to a head and will bring him to his end. And as for your seeing the greater heads disappear, one of them will die in his bed. That's what the question right here is. One of them will die in his bed, but in torment. But as for the 2 who are left, the sword will devour them. Here we go. This is how the Lord holds word. For the sword of one of them will devour the one who was with him, but he too will fall by the sword in the last days. So from like I said, for me examining this over and over again, dealing with it, the 3 heads, when I'm looking at it, is Russia, China, and America, and the president, which I mean, from the way it's looking, the way Biden is, he's gonna die in his bed. You know what I'm saying? And then the last 2, like I said, our deliverance is at hand. Ain't all that stuff in the New Testament don't even apply. So our deliverance is right at hand. So if it's him, he passed. You got 2 left. He tells you right here, they're gonna last for a minute. They're gonna devour each other. That's how we get delivered.
Wow.
They start.
Yeah. And I was there with this 10 years ago, man. And I just, waited because it came. He said that the 3 heads is at the very end. So the 3 people we're looking at right now is America, Russia, and China, right?
Right. America about cloud.
Right. So I'm gonna keep reading. I mean, you probably want to read this, man, and deal with it.
Yeah.
So it says, and for you seeing two additional wings crossing over to the head on the right side, this is the meaning. It is these that the Most High has kept for the eagle's end, for their reign was short. See that? And full of disturbances, as you saw. And as for the lion, here we go. That's us. We already awakened. As for the lion that you saw, rousing up out of the forest and speaking to the eagle and rebuking him for his wickedness and all his words that you have heard, he is the anointed one. That's David, whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, who will spring from the posterity of David and come and talk with them. He would charge them with their ungodliness and rebuke them for their wickedness and reproach them to their faces with their transgressions. For first he would set them alive before his judgment seat, and when he had rebuked them, he would destroy them. But my people who remain, he will mercifully set free, who remain in my borders, and he will make them glad until the end come, the day of judgment, of which I told you at the beginning. This is the dream that you have had, and this is the meaning. See that? So that's big, man. Anyway, what Lamar was talking about, you can read it. If you go to 12 and start at verse 46. You see that? It says, have courage, Israel, and do not be sorrowful. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, start reading right there. It's a man gonna come up out of the sea. That's what he talking about over here. The lion gonna come and speak to the eagle. So it's a man gonna come up out of the sea, but we know that's David when you understand who the Messiah is. So, and it goes back to Isaiah. Let's look at Isaiah right quick. So you go to Isaiah. Go to Isaiah. Go ahead. What you saying?
No, that's powerful.
Right. Isaiah 66. Isaiah 66 and verse 5. All the prophets talking the same thing. They just disconnected the understanding. Verse 5 says, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake." That's Esau. I keep on screaming that. Esau kicked us out in 143 BC. That cast you out for my name's sake, said, "Let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed." Being 6, a voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that renders recompenses to his enemies. The only way he's going to do that is raise David up. David the one bring recompense. So he said, before she travailed, she brought forth. Before pains came, she was delivered of a man child. That's David. That's the man in 2nd Ezra that's coming up out of the sea. So what we're looking at right now is the woman in travail, because we didn't woke up. The woman in travail, and then it says, verse 6, who have heard such a thing, who have seen such a thing, shall the earth, so the earth, shall the earth be made to bring forth. That means all Israelites is buried. That's Ezekiel 37. Before the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Zion travaileth, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to birth and not to cause to bring forth, said the Lord? Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb, said God? Rejoice ye with Jerusalem. Be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolation, that you may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. That's all our forefathers, ones we've been reading about: David, Solomon, and Ezekiel, Jeremiah, all of them. That's the breast of her consolation. That's Ezekiel 37. We see he's going to raise up all our forefathers. But before he do that, he's going to bring David up first.
Yeah, David going to be the first resurrected.
Yeah, before the woman started travailing and bring forth his people in Ezekiel 38, 37, he raised David up first.
Right.
That's what the man that come up out of the sea is. But when you read it, you're gonna see that's what they got JC from here. They got JC coming with a thing wrapped around his neck with a blood on it and all that. But that's David.
Do you think this just made me think about something? Do you think that's why they setting up missiles and all this other stuff, because they know our true Messiah is not JC but David coming back like that?
Oh yeah, they know these Edomites behind. I was looking at today how I don't know if nobody's seen it, but these Edomites supposedly came in with a but they didn't rebellious mode about the vaccines. They said they ain't using the vaccines right. They said they got a vaccine now that this can do the job. So all of a sudden these Edomites get ready to take over the vaccine, take over everything when it comes to the vaccines. But when you understand prophecy, that's all part of prophecy.
They're using that science to achieve. Yeah.
Right. They've been the ones behind it.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Even go back to Project Paperclip. Those, them scientists that they went to. That's the reason America got in the war, to get those scientists.
Right.
500 scientists they got from Germany, but them was Edomites.
Right.
Yeah.
German Jews.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Even Hitler was a German Jew.
Right.
But what's with the different variants that they doing? All these different variants that they making.
Well, it goes to the Georgia Guidestone. They want to kill off a certain amount of They want to kill off the population and reduce it down to 500 million people. And they're doing it in ways. Got us thinking, you know what I'm saying?
Somebody said something. They said that they make these variants because people won't comply, so they keep making one that's scarier and scarier. So people ain't complying to the COVID one. They make another virus and say this one's 10. Because you just brought it out yesterday that they got one that's gonna make COVID look weak.
Right. It's already out.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing, the objective is to reduce the population down. And when I look at it, what they're doing with these different variants is culling the population down, but the major culling is gonna happen whatever it is they putting in the people. They got something planned for that.
Right.
That's the way I'm looking at it. But they in the process of them doing that, they trimming the population down anyway with these variants, because they can't sustain the population the way it is now. They can't sustain it. Not the system they got in place. That's why they trying to do something, before it just turn upside down on its own. They're trying to do something to cut it off.
And they always try to bring that fear tactic, man. Like even through Christianity, if you don't receive JC, you're gonna go to a burning hell.
Right. Exactly.
Mark of the beast and all that.
Right. Right. It's garbage. That's what I'm saying. Like I said with the Antichrist. He told you in Daniel, the beast is a system. There's four different systems coming on earth. So how in the world is the beast a man? How the Antichrist is a man? Is the beast is a system, and it received the woman in the head. Wrong deed. When Rome first started, when the four beasts first started, Rome got sacked. So that already happened. And we still dealing with Rome.
Right.
It received the woman in the head, but did live. Because the team brought it back to life. So that's crazy. So you way off. As long as you're dealing with that, you know what I'm saying? You way off.
Right.
Yeah. So like I said, it's so many people that don't even know about the question that the brother was asking about the second Ezra.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right.
Right.
I'm gonna have to go back and study that one.
Yeah, because it's a lot of missing. It's a lot of moving parts go to that, and it's all over. It's all in the King James, but you
Right.
can't really connect it. Like I said, got you thinking that it's 10 million gonna come at the end when he's telling you it's 10 different. It's the fourth beast, but it's just transforming itself.
And when you broke that down with America, Russia, and China, and Biden,
Right.
damn, man, that all makes sense to me.
Oh yeah. Because we see, I mean, the only reason why we was over here for as long as we was blind.
Yeah.
So now that we awaken, we can't stay here. We gotta be put back in our land. So the Most High ain't on. He ain't woke us up at the wrong time. He woke us up because it's time for us to go.
Right.
That's how close we are.
And I always felt that, man. I felt
Right.
like, he didn't do this for nothing.
Right.
Because it had to be him, because they made it impossible to make it back to him.
Right. Exactly.
So it had to be the Lord of hosts.
Right. Exactly. That's right.
So we're getting ready for another day of the Lord. Indignation.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. They got us thinking it's just one day, but it's been 12, 13 days of the Lord. Yeah.
Man.
Want to get something?
And David plays such a strong role for us.
Oh yeah. Right.
Man.
Right. Yeah. Like I said before, you if it ain't registering, all you gotta do is read Psalms 89 and Psalms 130, Psalms 132. You read that. Yeah. So yeah. And there's something.
That's something, man.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna play this right here, man. This brother was talking about a little bit about those troops. Let me let him talk. Let him we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go. Oh, whoa. Gold nugget that you can either pick it up or kick it aside. Now, I want you all to go back to my video that I did today when I was sharing about Afghanistan, that the Taliban decided they were not going to cultivate nor sell, distribute any opium drugs, that they decided they were going to stop this act. And then I said, be prepared to see the reaction of the U.S. in trying to stay in Afghanistan. Now, we currently know that the U.S. has encountered supposedly a suicide bombing that took place just the other day after I did this video. Now, here again, as you can see, I have did 20 years in the military, and I have watched how where the U.S. military goes, that typically when they put a footprint in a country, they will try to stay there as long as possible. Now, they said that they have a deadline of the 31st of August here coming, I think, tomorrow, that we're going to see. Are they going to meet the deadline? And are they going to be holding themselves to what they said? Now, just today it has been reported that there has been another U.S. drone bombing attack against the terrorists there, who supposedly 3 children were killed. Now, this right here is the propaganda and the setup that I said that you're going to start to see across the airways in order to get a people to embrace the actions that are going to be taken forward after this deadline, or in the way that America will try to stay and keep their forces there to fight off this terrorist. Now, they didn't mention the Taliban. They mentioned the ISIS, okay? They mentioned that the ISIS is there, that they have taken over and doing these so-called suicide bombings that have killed 15 U.S. soldiers, and that with this, the U.S. is going to continue to evacuate the people until this end of this month of August. Now, I want us all to pay close attention, because you have to see what is transpiring.
And just because reports come out does not make it so. And that even the military can bring out their own reports. Now, I'm not saying that they're making up any report. What I'm saying is that whatever they encounter, they can make decisions off what is happening and use it as a means to stay in the country. Because if this so-called the opium plant that they cannot get their hands on or get the supplies of, this will be devastating to the so-called pharmaceutical companies, as well as the drug industry, because heroin is made from opiate. And so that this would have a tremendous effect on those political parties who are heavily invested in that area of the pharmaceutical companies. Now, we also know that China plays a heavy part in purchasing some of these products. Now, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes of whether or not they supply money to the U.S. for a means of protecting the opium plant or the opium crops that are there in Afghanistan. But we do know America uses $1 billion industry in its pharmaceutical companies, as well as the street drug heroin that is supplied by Afghanistan's cultivating the opium plant. So I say again that we need to watch to see the strategic move of what the military will do. As you start to hear these stories that come out, you're going to start to hear about U.S. soldiers being killed. You're going to hear about women and children being killed. So that now that you will support any decision that.
Okay. Anybody got any comments on that?
Yeah, I hear where he's coming from. I don't know if the opium situation is what it was them 20 years ago. 20 years ago, when they first went in there, we saw what took place over here. I don't know. From what they're saying, there's not going to be any diplomatic people that's going to be left in Afghanistan. And if they're going to look for a reason because the 13 dudes got murdered or killed over there for them to stay in Afghanistan and still cultivate opium, I don't know. They make so much synthetic drugs right now.
Right.
I don't know if the opium, you know what I'm saying? Like 20, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, yeah. But now I don't know if that's a reason for them to stay over there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let me deal with this right here, man. That's the question. Says, who was the seed of the serpent in Genesis 3 and 15? Cain. Cain was the seed of the serpent. Okay? And you ask, you come and you say, the beasts of the field were people. The Antichrist is a man. He is a beast in the eyes of the Lord, in the eyes of the Most High. So let's look at that. Okay? It says right here in Daniel. Daniel chapter 7. Gabriel giving them interpretation. And I'm picking it up at verse 7 and 15. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the vision of my head troubled me. And I came near unto one of them that stood by, and I asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of these things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even and forever. Then, verse 19, then thou wilt know the truth of the fourth beast. See that? Truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were as iron, and his nails of brass, which devour and break in pieces and stomp the residue with his feet. and out of and of the 10 horns that were in his head. See that? So this ain't no man. Man ain't got no 10 horns on his head. This is a system came in place. The first system was the Chaldeans. Second system, Medes and Persians. Third one was the Greeks, Hellenization, and then fourth beast was Rome. You see the woman in the head, then Constantine brought it back as the Holy Roman Empire. That we're dealing with that beast right now, the Holy Roman Empire. And it's spread over the whole earth. And the head is in the Vatican. Is in the Vatican. It's not a man. Okay, and then yeah. So this man of perdition right here is Antioch Epiphanes. He already came. He already destroyed the temple and ran the Israelites out. You can't come now. We ain't no Israelites don't have no temple, and they not in their homeland. Okay. So anybody else have anything? Or questions or anything or comments before we go? I'm gonna read Jeremiah. Anybody have anything?
Nah, I don't have anything.
Okay. Yeah. So like I say, what you keep seeing is you keep seeing people because of what they've done with the Old and New Testament. People keep when they talk about the Antichrist and all that, and the end times, and they're thinking all this stuff has to happen before. But we already see us Israelites already awakened, and it's time for us to be delivered. And they go to Jeremiah and they go to Isaiah and they go to different books like that, and Daniel, and they trying to tie them books to the New Testament. But I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about right here. So they saying right now they waiting on the person that's supposed to come, and he's supposed to come out of the north, and they're saying that Russia, it's going to be Russia coming from. They're looking to the north for some kingdom or man to come from the north, right? So let's go there and look at Jeremiah, and they go to Jeremiah to solidify that. But I'm gonna go to Jeremiah right now. We're gonna see exactly what's going on. Jeremiah, they say the king of the north, king coming from the north, right? So I'm in Jeremiah. I think it's chapter 6. Yeah, I'm in Jeremiah chapter 6. So first of all, let me read it. Let me read chapter 1, verse 1. It said the words of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 1, set the stage. The words of Jeremiah, son of Hilkiah, the priest that were in Antilope in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of, see that? Josiah, son of Amon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. And it came also in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Joash, king of Judah, until the end of the 11th year of Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, until the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. So they was carried away into Babylon. So Jeremiah is prophesying to our forefathers that was living during the time of Babylon and telling them what's getting ready to happen to them. He ain't talking to us. So I'm in chapter 6, verse 1. Destruction of Judah. O ye Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee out of the midst. See, they associating that to now, getting ready to flee out, right? It says, O ye children of Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee out of the midst of Jerusalem. Why? And blow a trumpet in Tika and set up a sign of fire in Bethlehem. For evil appears out of the north, right? A great destruction. They looking for this to happen now, right? says, I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. The shepherds with their flocks shall come unto her. They shall pitch their tents against her round about, and they shall feed everyone in his place. Prepare ye for war against her. Arise and let us go up at noon. Woe unto us, for the day goeth away, for the shadows of the evening are stretched out. Arise and let us go by night, and let us destroy her palaces. For thus says the Lord of hosts, for thus hath the Lord of hosts said, hew ye down trees and cast them out against Jerusalem. This is a city to be visited. She is wholly oppressed in the midst of her. See that? So we see what. So we're gonna go to chapter 6, verse 22. We start at verse 21. Therefore, thus says the Lord, behold, I will lay a stumbling block before this people, that's before Israel, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The daughters and his friends shall perish. Thus says the Lord, behold, a people coming from the north country. See that? And great nation shall be raised up from the sides of the north. He's going to raise them up and bring them against Israel. So 23, they shall lay hold on bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy. Their voice roars like a sea. They ride upon the horses, set in battle array as men of war against the old daughter of Zion. Right? So we keep going. See who these people is. Okay. Okay. Right here, 21 says, destruction of Jerusalem foretold. I was just reading that over there. Now in 21, the word which came unto Jeremiah, see that? From the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Paulsar, the son of Micaiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Mishael, the priest, saying, inquire, I pray thee, of the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, maketh war against us. If so be that the Lord will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us. Then said Jeremiah unto them, thus say ye, thus shall ye say to Zedekiah, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them in the midst of this city, and I myself will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong arm, even in anger and in fury and in great wrath. And I will smite the inhabitants of this city, Jerusalem, both man and beast. They shall die of a great pestilence. And afterwards, says the Lord, I will deliver Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his servants and the people, and such as are left in this city from the pestilence and from the sword and from the famine, into the hands of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hands of their enemies, and into the hands of those that seek their life. So you see right there, he ain't talking to us. You can't go to Jeremiah and cross-reference Jeremiah with Revelations. He's talking about Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar coming from the north. The Chaldeans coming from the north. Okay? He ain't talking to us. So you gotta find another reference. Because it ain't Jeremiah. He talking to our forefathers. He ain't talking to us. Any comments?
Yeah, where they reference that at in
In Revelation?
Yeah.
It says it talks about the Antichrist. They saying the Antichrist and all that is tied to. They go to Revelations when they say the man of sin, the man of perdition. It's all,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
and they wait on that to happen, like I was saying before. But all this stuff already happened. Go to Daniel right quick too. It's all tied together. So Daniel chapter This is another place they go. I'm in chapter 11, Daniel 11. Got it?
Check smoke.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 says, for the king of the north shall return and shall set forth a multitude greater than the former, and he shall certainly come after certain days with a great and with much riches. They plan all this to the future. That's the king of the north right there. So then you go over here to King verse 9. So the king of the south shall come in his kingdom and shall return into his own land, but his sons shall stir up and shall assemble a multitude of great force. So who is this king of the north, king of the south, and all that? Alexander, when Alexander died, Alexander divided his kingdom up into with his 4 generals, right?
Right.
You had the king of the north, king of the south, king of the east, and king of the west. 4 generals. That's who Constantine, when Constantine came on the scene, when the Roman Empire split up, he subdued 3. Let's look at it. Go to chapter 8. Chapter 7. Chapter 7, verse 24 says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. He shall be diverse from the first. He shall subdue 3. See that? How many people did Alexander kings? How many men did Alexander divide his kingdom up by?
4.
4. King of the north, king of the south. When you understand, it was Alexandra. Constantine got in the war with the king of the south or the king of the north, subdued him. The other guy, Longinus, fought against the other guy, and he won. Then it was 2 of them left. Then they got in a fight at the Malvorian Bridge, whatever they call that place, where Constantine supposedly saw the cross. Then he killed him. He subdued 3, and he became the sole ruler. Then he brought the beast back to life because the beast had been dispersed into 4 parts. He brought it back to life. That's what he's talking about. All the stuff that happened. So you can't come from Revelations and try to tie it to this. So let me give you another example of what I'm talking about. When you go to chapter 11, start out the gate, verse 1. Chapter 11 of Daniel, verse 1 says, and also I, in the first year of Darius of the Medes. See that? So that's the second beast. So Medes. So this ain't no 4th beast. This ain't wrong. It ain't now. He says, this Gabriel talking. He says, also I, in the first year of Darius of the Medes, even I stood and confirmed and strengthened him. So you say, well, what are you talking about? Keep reading. And now I will show thee the truth. Behold, thou shalt stand up yet. See that? So you can't go from here all the way to Revelations. You're still dealing with Darius. It's 2 Darius. And he talking about the first one. And he says in verse 2, and now I will show thee the truth. Behold, there shall stand up yet 3 kings in Persia. This is the second beast. So then he says, and the 4th shall be far richer than them all. This, the 4th one is named Darius. That's the one Alexander destroyed. It says, and in Greek, and the 3rd beast came in the scene. So it says, and the 4th shall be far richer than they all. And by his strength, through his riches, he shall stir up against the realm of the Greeks. That's the 3rd beast. You can't go to Revelations. You got to do something else. So then 3, and a mighty king shall stand up that shall rule with great dominion and do according to his will. That's Alexander the Great. Say, and when he shall stand up, his kingdom shall be broken, and he shall be divided into 4, like I just said. That's the king of the north, king of the south, east, and west. That's the 4 kings. You can't come here and bring them king of the north and south in the Revelations, because they ain't talking about no Revelations. Revelation ain't got nothing to do with it. Yeah. So you got, it ain't working. Like I said, He worked up until now, but Most High raising up Israelites said it ain't working. You gotta do something else. Yeah. Any comments? Okay. Anybody got anything else? Look like we're gonna. Anybody got any more comments or questions they want to bring up?
No, I'm just still reading. I'm reading on down to 5.
Oh yeah. Okay. Go ahead. You can read it.
It says, "And the king of the south shall be strong, and one of his princes, and he shall be strong above him.
Right.
Have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion." So that's one of the princes of Alexander. Then.
Right. That's Antiochus.
And
So go from. Go to Let me find my book. Go to the Apocrypha, the first Maccabees. You're gonna see. It's gonna. All of it gonna flow right together. First Maccabees. Got it? Everybody got it?
yeah,
So it said it came to pass. See that I was telling you about? They have a dream, then the angel comes and give them the understanding of it, and then it come to pass. This never came to pass. And when you look in the book of Daniel, you only get the vision, and then you get the Gabriel giving the understanding, but it don't come to pass because they don't want you to know. So it says right here, it came to pass. This is the vision that Gabriel broke down to Daniel. It came to pass after Alexander. See that? He the one that came, the great king that stood up. Alexander of Macedon, son of Philip, who came from the land of Checham, had utterly defeated Darius. There you go.
right.
I just read that. And the king of Medes and Persians that he reigned in his stead, and he had before reigned over Greece. And he waged many wars, captured forces, slaughtered the kings of the earth, and he made his way to the ends of the earth and despoiled a multitude of nations. The whole earth was silent before him. He became exalted, and his heart was uplifted. He mustered a very mighty army, ruled over the lands and over rulers of the heathens, and they paid him tribute. Afterwards, he fell sick and knew that he was going to die. So he called in his distinguished servants who had been brought up with him, that's the 4, and he divided his kingdom among them, that's the 4 generals. While he was still alive, Alexander had reigned 12 years, and he died. Here we go, right here. His servants succeeded him. These kings of the south, north, and east, and all that. It says, his servants succeeded him, each in his own dominion after his death. They all put on crowns, as did their sons after them for many years. And they did much evil in the earth. He said, there sprung from them, here go what you just read. There sprung from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus Epiphanes. It's the Antichrist, the son of King Antiochus. He had been a hostage in Rome and became king in the 143rd year of the Greek kingdom. Now he go to. They say the Antichrist coming. He gonna have a 7-year treaty. He gonna have a 7-year treaty with the Israelites, us. After he deliver us, he gonna have a 7-year treaty with us. Then in the midst of the week, 3.5 years, he gonna come and destroy the temple. But it ain't no temple. So let's look at it. So he says, there sprang from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus, king of Antiochus. He had been a hostage in Rome, and he became a king in the 137th year of the Greek kingdom. Here we go. Here go the covenant, the treaty. In those days, there arose out of Israel lawless men who persuaded many. Let us go and make a treaty. They go to 7 years right here. The treaty with the heathens round about us, for ever since the time we became separated from them, many misfortunes have overtaken us. The plan, the 7-year plan right here. The plan seemed good in their eyes, and some of the people went eagerly to the king and authorized him to introduce practices, see that, of the heathen. And they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem. They don't tell you that. They don't show you the gymnasium when Jesus coming down there down the Della Rosa. They don't show you the gymnasium. See that? He says they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem in the heathen fashion and submitted to uncircumcision and disowned the holy agreement, the treaty, the holy agreement, and they allied themselves with the heathens and became slaves of wrongdoing. Then it says, and when his rule appeared to Antiochus to be established. Since after 3.5 years, he conceived the idea of becoming king in the land of Egypt. So that he might reign over the two kingdoms. So he entered Egypt with a strong force, with chariots and elephants and cavalry and a great fleet, and he made war with Ptolemy. That's the king of the south right there, Ptolemy, king of Egypt. And Ptolemy turned and fled before him, and many fell wounded, and they captured the walled cities in the land of Egypt and plundered the land of Egypt. Now here you go. At 3.5 years after subduing Egypt in the 143rd year, Antiochus turned back, came up against came up against Israel and entered Jerusalem with a strong force. And in his arrogance, he went into the sanctuary, took the gold altar and the lampstand for light and the furniture. See right there? This ain't nowhere in the scriptures.
Wow.
This the Antichrist. This when he destroyed the temple in the midst of the week. See that?
Yeah.
That's 143.
Huh?
That's 143.
Right.
BC.
Yeah. So let's look at it right quick. I want to show you reason why I'm saying that. So let me get it again. Put the book down. So you say, what you talking about? So if you go back over here, he says, verse 10, chapter 1, verse 10 says, there sprang from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus, king of Israel. He became, he was a hostage in Rome. He became king. See that? What king? Let's look at that right quick before I go. What king you talking about? Go to Daniel. Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8, verse 23. Daniel 8 and 23. I'm gonna start at 22. It says, now that being broken, where 4 stood up for it, we just read that in First Maccabees, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of that nation. That's Greek kingdom, but not in his power. In the latter times, we just read that of their kingdom, when the transgressors shall come to a fool, a king. See that? A king of fierce countenance and understand dark sins to stand up. That's Antiochus right here. So I'm back over here in First Maccabees. It says 10. There sprung from them a sinful shoot named Antiochus, the son of King Antiochus. He had became a hostage in Rome, and he became king. This is the king that Daniel talking about. In the 137th year of the Greek kingdom. So now go over to the next page, and it says when his rule appeared to Antiochus to be established, he conceived the idea of becoming king in the land of Egypt. So he might reign over 2 kingdoms. So he entered Egypt with a strong force, excuse me, with chariots and elephants and a caravan and a great fleet. And he made war with Ptolemy of Egypt. And Ptolemy turned and fled before him, and many fell wounded. And they captured the walled cities in the land of Egypt, and he plundered the land of Egypt. And after subduing Egypt in the 143rd year, see that? So you add them years up for 137. See that?
Yeah.
That's how you get it. Having your treaty. That's a treaty right there. Ain't no treaty. Ain't nobody coming in the future. All this already happened. It's right here. And I said, like I said, what these after subduing Egypt in the 143rd year, Antiochus turned back, came against Israel, and entered Jerusalem with a strong force. And in his arrogance, he went into the sanctuary and took the gold altar. So where? Come on. If he took the gold altar now, then what gold altar is in Jerusalem in 70 AD? Where is it? Come on.
Question.
Okay. Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's something I always wondered. I sit back and I look at this, especially when it comes to the Black Christian You know, who say they know that we're the people. So, you know, the Hebrew Israelite Christian who know we're the people. So my question is where is the holy place that he's gonna stand in? Like,
Right, exactly.
who's building this holy place that the abomination of desolation y'all waiting for is gonna stand in?
Right. It already happened. That's why.
Already happened, man.
Already happened, man. You can't, like I said, you can't get around it. It's just like that right there. You know, it's baffling to me when you show somebody that, you know, it seems like they would be grateful, but okay. And the other one is when in 70 AD, you keep on saying that was us. Okay, well, look where they went. They got you. They got 4 journeys that Paul took. All his journeys went into Europe. All 4 Paul journeys into Europe. We already know that we was on the west coast of Africa.
All those 7 churches.
Yeah, all of them. That's them Edomites that left in 70 AD and went into Europe. We already know that because they're still over there now. So that's right there. It tells you them ain't no that's a lie from the pit of hell. They're showing you on the map. They've been showing you on the map for years. Paul's journeys. Paul ain't know the Israelites on the west coast of Africa. Come on.
And you know, in a Christian book, you know, it had me looking for the, you know, it say when you shall see the abomination,
Right.
stand in the holy place.
Right, exactly.
And you looking for that crap.
Right. You waiting for them to build a temple.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Right. All that already happened. Like I said before, how you gonna have a beast system, which we know is the fourth beast? How can the Antichrist come at the end of it? He got to set it up.
Right.
So there you go. And the people he set it up.
Man, make perfect sense. Yeah.
They hide truth right in plain sight. Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ain't that something?
Man, that's powerful.
Oh yeah. And like I say, once you get that, and then the rest of the scriptures just start unfolding, opening it up.
Yeah, that's a game changer right there.
Ain't that something?
That's a good breakdown.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we had 1:30, man. Anybody got anything else? They want to mention, or we can go for a few more minutes.
I mean, that's something that was unique. This guy I watched, and it was a lot of it was weird. It was 3 different news instances that he showed, and it was all Jake like attacking Caucasian white kids. It was weird. It's like one brother, he shot. He aimed a gun at this guy's son, and the white dude, jumped in the way and took the bullet. Another one is a 17-year-old black kid who pounded this Edomite bad, broke his jaw. And another one in New York took place where this black girl just walked up to this white woman and pushed her 2-year-old. So I'm sitting there like, I know they said these people were lost in their mind, but I don't know. I think it's a little bit more going on where black people are saying they're not really scared of Esau anymore. You know?
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. That's the thing. What I'm saying that people not really understanding that. That's how we're gonna leave, because that's gonna keep happening. They're gonna have to do something with us, because it's so much. They did so many atrocities to us. And now it just came to a complete head. They got to separate us. They got to come up with some. They got to come up with some way to separate us, because it ain't working no more. And like I said before, we are awakened. So the only reason we was over here as long as we have been, because we was in the dark. But now that we awakened to who we are as Israelites, there's no way we can stay here.
Yeah.
We gotta be placed back where we belong. That's what's manifesting itself right now.
It was something I never. She didn't push the mother. She went straight for the kid and she just walked away.
Ain't that something?
Just walked away.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big difference from the civil rights to now.
Yeah, right. It's a whole other ball game, right? Yeah.
Whole different generation. Yeah.
Right. Right. And like I said, it's no longer. You can't. You can't just tell a brother anything nowadays, man. They ain't going for it. Most of them
Nah.
won't do it.
Oh, you say that spirit is poured out?
Right. Exactly. Pulled out. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just think when we unite, man.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about, man, like in the future on Tuesday nights, I was thinking about lotting out songs, man. Pick somebody every week to come up with the songs and they break it down. What y'all think?
I'm with
Okay.
it. I'm with it.
Yeah, so you gonna do songs next week?
Facts. I'm with that.
So you got it next week?
Yep.
Okay, so you just pick up songs out and then we're gonna read it, then you just break it down. We go in like that, then we keep moving.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have to do it on night. I'm not at work.
Yeah, just let me know what's the
Yeah.
best time for you to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, man, let me get this situated over here. Okay.
Great lesson.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna see everybody tomorrow, man.
All right.
Come on.
Brothers.
All right. It's 8 o'clock tomorrow. 7 o'clock tomorrow.